All right, today I'm going to show you how I built this building. This is an add-on. I have a metal building behind the camera that's a pre-existing. It's a big tall one on a cement slab. But I wanted to do something with the land that was next to the building, and it was basically right behind this wall here. The ground slopes upward, goes uphill just a little bit, and then flattens out up near my garden. And I'd have a lot of rainwater that would come down that slope and just rest right in here, and it would stay muddy and nasty all the time. And I had about 10 feet from the side of the building until the slope began, and I thought I could build a little lean-to style building onto the side of my pre-existing building, and it'd give me a little workshop area and whatnot. The metal building is used mostly for storage now, so this one here has become my workshop. And if you were here to look around, you'd see this place is a mess right now. But anyway, let me show you basically what I was talking about with how the land looked, and then I'll show you the process of how I built it. Stay tuned. So as you can see, my yard came down off of a slope into this flat little bottom against the building. It was really useless, and I couldn't do anything with it. There was about 10 feet worth of flat that came out towards the slope. So I got an idea, why don't I build a little building onto the side of the current metal building? But a lot had to be done to do this. I had all kinds of trouble with water. As you can see from the satellite view, I've got a slope in my backyard. And every time it would rain, the water would run right down the slope, and it would just pool in the back of my yard, and it would stay wet all the time, even on dry days. It just wouldn't drain properly. Here you can see how the water just stood there. So the only other option is to dig a French drain. So I started around the building and started working my way out and down around the fence line. Followed it all the way out through the yard, and I had to run it down close to the road. There was a whole bunch of digging that had to be done. Hand dug this all the way down. Massive job. But once it was done, man, the water just went right in it, and it headed right on down. This did an amazing job of emptying my yard, and to this day, my yard stays nice and dry. Now, whenever it rains really hard, obviously, it takes a little while, but eventually all this water will just go right on down the drain. Now obviously I couldn't have this big hole that I couldn't mow over top of. So I got some gravel and decided I was going to fill the hole completely full of gravel all the way down. So it'd be real easy to just run the mower right over top of the ditch. And I also had enough to re-establish my driveway that was starting to get a bunch of grass. Here's my little helper. Boy, I tell you what, you can't stop this kid. He wants to be out there helping any chance he gets. I also went around the back of the building, 'cause there was a slope back there too. Dug a little ditch there and ran it all around the corner and out the front. And then I had gutters and stuff like that needed dealt with, so I went ahead and dug these trenches. And right here's my air conditioner drain. That thing drips all day long in the summertime and right against my foundation. So both the gutter and that drain, I brought it out and connected it to the main piece of corrugated pipe and sent that right on down the line there. Then covered everything over with gravel all the way down. And here you can see it going all the way down to the road. I also put a piece of garden fabric down in the bottom to help hold the dirt on the side of the banks. And there it goes into the ditch down by the road. So here's one rainy night. I went down to check it out, and you can see the amount of water that's coming down out of my yard. It did a good job. I needed to put a cap on the end of it, though. And again, here's my buddy. He's going down to help Dad put the cap on. So now with the water issue dealt with, it was time to get some boards. I don't have a trailer to haul stuff with, and I needed some 20-footers. So at the expense of looking like a goober driving through town, I had to work with what I got. Slapped it on a truck, brought it home, and attached the first 20-footer to the bottom of the existing building here. And this will give me a base to work off of. So at this point, once we got everything leveled up, we brought the backhoe in and kind of leveled the ground a little bit. Then we brought a load of gravel in and put it down. Here's my buddy helping me with the gravel. He's kind of doing it in reverse, but love his heart. He is a worker. Then it was time to get the first 10-foot boards out. Got them situated. And then I had to start digging holes to put the support poles out in the front. So I dug these holes down and then put cardboard forms in there, poured cement, made a little cement platform that would hold the 4x4s up off of the ground, and that would ensure any moisture coming down the hill wouldn't just set against wood. It would be on concrete. Then ran a 20-foot board on the front between the two 4x4s, put a few more supports in the middle. Then I had my buddy Rusty from work come out and help me. And we framed up the walls and put on the roof. And then it was time to get roofing. So I made this little jig to go in the back of my truck. I needed 14-foot sections of metal roofing. And I needed some way to keep it from buckling out the back of my truck. And this worked like a charm, actually. It looked a little janky, but did what it was supposed to. And 14 sheets of it is actually a lot of weight, so truck was kind of squatted down there. Doesn't help that it's a Ford Ranger. So after the roof and stuff was on, I started noticing we had a little bit of a dip in the roof there. When the furring strip started going on, you can see it better from this angle. So what I had to do was get down in the front on the bottom along that 20-foot board and just put a car jack down there and start jacking it up until I had everything nice and flush, and then screwed it back into the support beams, and that fixed the problem. Then we started slapping on the pieces of roof, got it all the way across, and voila, there's the roof. The next thing I did was build a ramp going up into the building, and then on the far side I framed this wall up with a window section in the bottom, and that's for my generator. My generator is not a small thing. It's a big, heavy generator you would see at a construction site. You see it hanging from a crane a lot. A big, heavy-duty generator. It's too heavy to move around, especially when it's raining and stuff. So I set it there and tied it into the house, basically, so I can run it and lift this flap up, and that keeps all the weather out, but lets the exhaust go right outside. And then when I'm not using it, I can just close the flap down. It was time to make some doors. Got those situated, slapped them on the front of the building. And then it was time to put some stain on the ramp. And that pretty much finished out the ramp. And we went ahead and put walls up all the way around, T111. And then it was time to slap some paint on it. You don't want to leave T111 sitting out in the weather too long. And also I wanted a workbench inside the thing, so I got these rusty old metal workbench legs from my father, and I took them up to a shop and had them powder coated. They sanded them and then powder coated them. Then I put the electrical in for the lights. Here's the start of my workbench. I had to do 13-inch sections because the router is only 13 inches wide. So I would glue it all together and then run it through the router. Needed some help running 14-foot sections through the router, but anyway, did 3 of the sections, and then set them on top of the supporting legs, and ended up putting some pegboard up. I got these pieces out of my grandfather's workshop whenever he passed away. And here I'm gluing the 3 sections together to make one solid workbench. There were raised pieces in it, so I had to take a hand planer and just flatten and true everything up on the top. You see a little bit of difference there. Then I broke out the sander and just sanded it down smooth, and it worked really good. It was really nice. Had some little cubby holes beside the pegboard, so I made shelving. Every bit of extra storage is a plus. There's the finished workbench. Put some linseed oil on it, and it was great. Got some shelves on the far end there by the generator, and voila, I've got a work building that works perfect. All right, so that's how I built this building. There's still a little bit more to do. This workbench still needs to be adjusted a little bit. The bottom side needs to be sanded better, and it still isn't bolted down to the legs, but I can get that whenever. Still got to add some shelving and stuff in here, and then I've got another section over there that needs some shelving, and I got a little bit of stuff to do down there. And then behind the camera, up against the metal building, I plan to put some wooden shelves for storage in there that'll come out about 2 feet, and that'll run the whole length of the building. The building is 20 feet long. That's why I had to get the 20-foot boards, and it's 10 feet wide. So it's enough to do a little bit of craftiness on my part. It also works as a bee shed. If you look over this way, there's all kinds of bee boxes and bee frames and stuff like that for honeybees sitting over there on the shelves. So that's pretty much what I use it for, and that's how it was built. So guys, if you like these kind of videos, do me a favor, like and subscribe. It doesn't take nothing to click the like button. Give me a thumbs up. If you like videos that are quality over quantity, that's me. I believe in quality videos over quantity. All right. So I spend a lot of time editing and producing these videos. I film over a long period, and then I try to produce as good a quality video as I can. So if you enjoy that kind of thing and somebody putting a lot of effort into their videos, I'm not the best there is out there by any means, but I give it my all with what I've got, which is a cell phone. So anyway, till next time, see ya.